This conference will now be recorded.
It's been a while. I almost forget what's going on there.
Maybe we should go around.
Roll call?
Yep, start. 6:02.
Kent Dershowitz is here.
Yeah, let's just have everyone just say the name so we have that on record. And of course, the additions.
Mark Kelleher, I'm from the Finance Committee, taking Angelo's place.
Leighton Allenby. Larry Broody.
Jay Walpole.
Roger Peterson.
Dan Hall.
And John Rendon, Harborman.
All right. So we'll just dive right in. We're gonna just go approve the minutes of the last meeting. Everyone had a chance to look at those.
Yeah, these are from Wednesday, November 15th. We haven't had
Meeting
any
since then.
agenda items
No.
to hold meetings, so that was the last one we held. And, you know, the main thing on the agenda was the mooring servicing agent license agreements that we presented.
Everyone have a chance to look at them. Everyone have any problems or questions?
I was not at the last meeting, so I want to
Sustain.
sustain.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. Second. Shown.
Jay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So we have no consent agenda. Open forum. I mean, if anyone wants, you want to introduce yourself and
Leighton Allenby. Moved up to Harwich 3 years ago now, going about 4 years, and just interested in being involved with some things going on here. We met on the Round Cove boat ramp.
Okay, yeah, I remember. You didn't have quite the beard then.
No, it's been growing a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah. Hey, man, well, we have an alternate position available here, just so you know.
Yeah, I just come to find out what's going on, what you guys do here. I mean, I'm from Falmouth originally, so we did a lot of, obviously docks and issues going on the water, but we also did the public cutting, making sure public access was to ponds and lakes and, spots like that. So I was just coming to check out and see what you guys are about, see if you guys need a volunteer.
great, well, welcome.
Beautiful. Yeah, it'd be a nice addition.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I did meet you when we were redoing the Round Cove boat ramp, and you were hitting it, so thanks. Yeah.
All right, well, I guess we'll move on to the financial report.
Okay,
Report.
so, I probably should have, now that I forgot, I should have included, since our last meeting was in November, I should have included December and January, but December in addition to January, but I failed to do that. But anyways, January revenues, as you see, it shows that we're a little behind, mainly because, well, for several reasons. One, the parking lot lease, you see that line item there, if you're looking at, that's just a timing issue. Nothing's changed with our leases. We have 2 leases with Harwich Boatyard and Allen Harbor Marine. And that's just a timing thing when they pay their leases. And same thing, you see a significant change in mooring account. Again, we're right in the middle of mooring renewal period. Again, that's just a timing thing. There will be no difference in the total amount when the renewal season is over. And same thing with user fees. Again, user fees kind of a timing issue. Visitor dockage, we're tracking real good. We're starting now. January 15th was the first day that people could call to request visitor dockage for the coming season. We put there's so much demand for it. People would leave in September and say, hey, I want to book for next year, and we couldn't do that. So last year we put a time, January 15th was the earliest people could request visitor dockage. So obviously we've hit that, and you're going to start seeing now visitor dockage numbers because we're starting to make reservations for next season. And what else? Seasonal dockage, again, it shows we're almost 35,000 short, but again, that's all timing. So I'm not worried about our numbers at all. We're tracking real good. Every season, knock on wood, for the past, well, since I've been here, every season we've elevated our revenues throughout, year to year. Obviously, when we redid our marina, that was a big boost because we had additional slips. We raised the rates, and we increased our visitor dockage, but our revenues have been solid from here on out. So if there's any questions about it, let me know. I can answer.
Anyone? We'll move on to new business. So I'll let the harbor master take over on that one.
So this probably surprises some of you, so I'll just give a quick summary of how we got here. So I don't know if you guys pay attention to Board of Selectmen meetings or not, but a couple of months ago, there was discussion with regard to the golf committee and the role that the golf committee was playing with relationship to the golf director and the superintendent. And there was some back and forth, and I won't get into the specifics of it, but what resulted from that was the Board of Selectmen's desire for every committee within the town to look at their charge, what the committee is charged with performing. There's a couple of things that currently list our responsibility as the Waterways Committee. In the charter, we have Chapter 7 of our charter that specifically states the responsibilities of the Waterways Committee. That's kind of what I paid attention to and what I knew, and I'm sure you guys knew that. What I didn't realize is we have, in addition to that, we have a paragraph within the Board of Selectmen's handbook that talks very briefly about the Waterways Committee. And there is also a committee charge that frankly I wasn't aware of. And it was developed in 1985. It's not part of the charter, and it's not part of the handbook, is my understanding. And the Board of Selectmen have now said, hey, we want every committee to address, if you don't have a charge, develop one. If you have one, we'd like to kind of formalize the format that these charges are put into. So we do have one. It was stuck in a folder up town administration, and I think the effort will be to include it in the Board of Selectmen handbook. I don't think there's an effort to include it in the charter. So our charge, from the front office and from the Board of Selectmen have been for us as a committee to look at the current charge that we have that was developed in 1985 and to put it into a format that they have provided. They worked on a format dealing with the golf department, and they said the golf committee. And they said, this is kind of what we want all charges to look like. So in the packet, I provided the template. I provided you also the current charge. And so our effort, maybe we don't do it tonight, or maybe we think about it, but here shortly, we want to be able to provide a revised committee charge in the format that has been provided. So what I did, and through the chairman, you tell me what you want to do. I did a quick draft. If we want to use it as kind of a starting point for us to talk about, and all I did was, kind of take and look and see what's in the charter and what's in that.
The template.
The current charge and what's in the Board of Selectmen handbook, and tried to capture just primarily what the purpose of the committee is. And so anyways, I can pass that out if you want.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Whatever you want.
And then,
Yeah.
I mean, I think I would give everyone a chance to, I mean, do we want to, obviously, we're not going to modify it tonight, just,
We can, you can take it and however you want to do it. I mean, whatever I'm just providing it as a starting place. And if you want to have some discussion about it now, we can, or if you want to have everybody.
well, I'm open for that. If everyone's read through it, we can have a discussion about it, and then if anyone wants to change anything, you can submit it, just email it to me, or do you have a digital copy of that?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can send that.
Yeah, send that, and I'll send it,
to you.
I'll send that to everybody, and then we can, I don't think we need to sit there and just keep hashing it out tonight.
Okay.
You know, but if everyone has a copy of it, and then we can get it to them through their email.
Okay.
And
So
if
did
there's
I-
ideas, you guys can modify it and send it to me, and we can work it out.
So obviously the template was kind of a fill in the blank kind of thing, right? Everybody looked at it. So, it had to do obviously with golf committee, and what I took is converted it into waterways committee with what I've thought based upon charter and handbook and existing charge, what the primary duties of our committee. So
Perfect.
anyways, you guys.
Almost.
Please. So is the red different than?
The red was the fill-in.
Okay.
Yeah, so the red is essentially what I have added. Yeah. Do you have extra copies? Did you guys get a copy? Do you want a copy? We probably have.
If you have one, I don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it.
Thanks.
I have a question. Was there not, this is not the select board, at some point back in October, September, November, the concept or the idea of disbanding certain boards came up. One of them was the Waterways Committee. Early in that process, because I watched the select board meeting, they had, one of the members had brought up the necessity of certain boards within the town. And the way I understood it is the Waterways Committee, the term Waterways Committee came up as is it necessary? Am I right or wrong?
I think
No, please, go right ahead.
through, I think there was discussion about many committees looking at trying to reduce the number of committees within the town. I personally have never been told that we are looking at the Waterways Committee to eliminate. So whether you heard that, but I have not, and I obviously would voice support to keep us intact. I mean, as you know, per the harbor management plan, it pretty clearly outlines that folks have the ability, if they're not happy with the decision that I make as the harbor master, they have the option to come before you to appeal it. And while you're not a decision-making body, you certainly carry a lot of weight when your recommendation would go to the Board of Selectmen on an appeal. So I think that's, in my mind, as the harbor master, I think that's an important process, and I would like to keep it.
I want to make sure it wasn't something that they were looking into.
Was that a Board of Selectmen meeting you heard that in?
Yep, that was early in the process of reviewing, establishing that they wanted all the different committees and to review their charter when they were having issues with the golf committee. And one of the board members brought up, we have too many committees in this town, and maybe we should disband some of them. At their level, make them go away. And I thought the Waterways Committee was in a very important legal entity that had a lot of input on what we sit here and vote on between people that come through with docks and,
Yep.
and shore maintenance and everything else, that I thought that was a little off base on their part.
Yeah, I mean,
So if they haven't come to you about it, then it's probably dead in the water.
I don't think there's any thought disbanding the waterways.
I can't see how they could really.
Well,
I mean, they can.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want, but
yeah,
I mean,
but I'm with
I mean,
you.
how to,
I don't think that.
how are they gonna go to make decisions on waterways and docks and this and that?
I'd like to make a lot of decisions.
So if everyone just wanna look that over, like I said, we'll get it to you digitally if you wanna make any alterations or what have you, but I would say we wanna continue that till the next meeting and then we can vote on that.
That's fine with me. Does anybody have any questions about what you've read or any concerns with it? I think I hit kind of the highlights of what our responsibility is, or I should say ours, your responsibility and how we interact and this.
I mean, do you feel anyone needs to make any changes?
Why don't we do that? Have
Yeah.
everybody have an opportunity to look at it. You can look at the charter, you can look at what I've provided you and make any comments.
Yeah, if anyone,
that's a good
wants to make any changes, email me. Like I said, I'll get it to you digitally and.
There's nothing in here that's major, it's all just words and verbiage and, right? It's
Yeah,
not-
I mean,
it's
I
not
think
major.
in my mind.
Yep.
I think the most important part is the purpose, right? I mean, what's the purpose of the waterways committee? And I think from what is listed in the charter, what's listed in the handbook, what's listed in the current charge, and what we do here collectively, I think I've hit it, I don't think we need to get real verbose or real,
Finite.
right, I mean, I think. But anyway.
But yeah, well, so if anyone has any questions on it or want to make any changes, just, get that to me before the next meeting so we can revise it and we can discuss anything at that time. If not, I say, I don't think we need to vote on it.
I would suggest next
Meeting that we do.
next time we vote on
Yeah,
it,
to
so that
approve
you
it.
have a vote, so I can go before the board of selectmen and say,
So
here's the revised charter.
we'll just have it, so we'll carry it to next meeting and, perfect. All right. So with that, no old business. Any monthly reports? Board of Selectmen? Nope.
So you've seen my monthly report that I've submitted to everybody. I think obviously the big items for the month, we finished and completed the dredging of Round Cove Channel. So took out 4,262 cubic yards of material was taken out of the channel. It needed it. And we put nourishment on both Bay Road Public Beach and the Barrier Beach that Waquasit owns, that protects our mooring field that, through storms, that thing gets, that's always a concern of mine that I try to keep an eye on, because if that breaks through, then we're in trouble. So, we dredge Round Cove 4 or 5 years, once every 4 or 5 years. And it was good to get it done. It's not easy, I helped the county tow a lot of that pipeline, from, what's the beach there outside of Harding's Beach, through the cut, through the kind of the south way, through the cut, over to Pleasant Bay, and it's never easy. I don't know if you guys have been to that waterway anytime. I mean, it just gets worse and worse every year.
Well, it changes so frequently.
It changes, and anyway, so I dredged some of the pipeline, and I had real good support. I carried somebody from the Chatham Harbor Master Department to go with me, to help me navigate through it. And of course, the county dredge followed me through. And it's a production, to try to get to the other side, and it only gets harder every year, it seems. So I was glad to get that done. You know, all our, you know, we're right smack in the middle of permitting. You know, that's the busiest part of the year for us is the winter. All our final dockage invoices went out, our mooring permits are going out, our pond moorings and all waterway user fees, all of that, you know, hundreds of mailings, and we do a lot by email. And a lot of people can utilize the online renewal process, but it's an effort to, I mean, that's the busy time of the winter is the permitting. What else can I highlight on our,
Are there any major capital plan, 5-year projects?
yeah, so we're right in the middle of budget season, as you probably know. So our operational budget, our capital budget has been submitted. I briefed the capital outlay committee come March 2nd or 4th. Gosh, you may know that, Mark. I don't know.
March 2nd.
March 2nd. There's a joint FinCom Board of Selectmen budget meeting where certain departments go in front of the group and talk about our operating budget and our capital budget. So, you know, the one that's coming up, I think this year, I'm requesting funding to design and engineer the replacement of our Herring River Route 28 ramp. That's next on the list. We pretty much hit, you know, every ramp and landing and bulkhead and marina. You know, I've tried to kind of prioritize. We just finished the Wixon dock. If anybody hasn't been down there to look at it, you should go down and take a look at it. I think they did a real nice job. And now we're looking to improve the ramp at Route 28 ramp. And then part of that project, this came up, there was an opportunity working through APCC, which is the Association to Preserve Cape Cod. It's an agency that looks at certain waterfront facilities and looks to improve stormwater runoff and just improve the environmental impacts of certain facilities. So, as you know, Route 28 parking lot, it's just a gravel lot. All the stuff from the road and rainwater just washes right into the Herring River. There is no retention systems in place. And so they have approached us to try to have a collaborative effort to improve that site by putting some bioretention areas and addressing salt marsh and doing some things that will fit nicely, I think, with the ramp project that we're looking to do. So I'm looking for funding for the engineering design, and then we'll go through the permitting and all that. That takes time. And then 2 years from now, we'll look to do the construction. So, and then of course, the Allen Harbor Jetty is still on the radar, not for this year, but the following year. We've got the engineering design done. We just need to look at whether we're going to move forward with the construction. It's about a $2 million price tag, so it's not chump change. So that's also. So I've got a few things on the capital plan, but the immediate one coming up would be the Herring River Route. If we can,
Yes.
I know the natural resource director couldn't be here, but he did a monthly report and he asked that I just handed out, and you guys can take a look and see what he's had been going on for the last month. He hasn't been feeling too well, so he's not here tonight, but
There's no herring catch, no herring.
yeah, I'm sure you read in the news, the decision is to, wait till next year when they can have some enforcement measures in place to address what I'm sure will be a flux of people wanting to.
I know we talked about a 1-day event,
Yeah.
whatever, that's not gonna happen yet.
There's a couple of meetings ago. If you haven't, maybe you should, if you're interested. It was an interesting discussion at the Board of Selectmen regarding whether or not to approve the herring run opening. So,
Are there any dock projects or anything any engineers that have been coming through asking future things?
yeah, I think what you're gonna see, here shortly is, there's a proposal that came forward to me, 6, 7, 8 months ago, just in the infancy stages, but they are pursuing a gentleman by the name of Jeff Lang, who is he owns property on the Herring River. I don't know if you go down the Herring River from the entrance, shortly after you pass the Wixon dock to the left, there's an embayment area that's real shallow, right? He owns the house and all the bulkheads that surround that area. So he's looking to, one, replace the bulkheads, and he wants to establish or he's gonna be seeking permission to do like a scallop type aquaculture farm type project within that area. So I think it's down the line. I think what you're gonna see first and foremost is the south bulkhead, is the face on the Herring River is in worse condition, and he's gonna be coming to us to replace that bulkhead. But I think he's got long-term plans to replace all the bulkheads, dredge that area, and he wants to use that area to grow scallop. So we'll see. I mean, I think that's a lengthy process, a lengthy permitting process, and we'll
Some
see.
concrete blocks in there.
We'll see where it goes.
Fun
Yeah.
stuff like that.
But besides that, I haven't, well, the one that you guys have looked at numerous times that's going in front of the commission after being remanded back to the commission by the state is the Novak dock, which right there, Witchmere Inner Harbor, you're at the fish pier, standing on the fish pier, 2 houses down is the Novak property. He's been in front of this committee at least 3 times with different variations, so that's still out there. But besides that, it's been pretty quiet.
Has anybody completed any projects that we voted on in the last year, or, was on the Herring River, or those applicants that came through and stuff, is there?
I tell you one that you'd be interested in, that got approved by the commission recently. It was the shared dock. Remember the one, Herring River, Herring Run 9 and 11? Shared dock between 2 homes and.
On the curve, on the turn.
Yes, right on the bend.
Yeah.
They approved that. After we made all the adjustments that we
Yeah.
suggested. And that was interesting because they require a variance because of the length. Remember, if the length exceeded 80 feet. But that got approved, so that was good, yeah. But to answer your question, I'm sure there have been, but they're not coming as far as what was being completed.
I think that about does it. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
No, someone's gonna make the motion.
Jay made the motion, I'll
Yeah.
second it.
All right, there you go.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you for coming, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can lay it down. I'll check it out. Did it all just melt today or yesterday? That's all it is, about a weekend.